Call the meeting to order of the City of Apache Junction. Krista Rizzi, Vice Mayor, will do the invocation, and Robert Schroeder will do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the privilege of being gathered here today to do the city's business. On behalf of our constituents, we ask that each of us be guided by you, Father, in the decisions that we make that affect others, and not by any personal agenda or ego. Father, we ask that we be humble in our disagreements, and that we never forget that we're here to serve the people of this beautiful community. We also ask for your protection for all of our first responders, those serving in our military, and all of their family members. We ask that they may be brought home safely each and every day. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Wilson.
Here.
Vice Mayor Rizzi.
Present.
Councilmember Biggs.
Here.
Councilmember Evans.
Here.
Councilmember Gremmel.
Here.
Councilmember Nesser.
Here.
Councilmember Schroeder.
Here.
You have a quorum, Your Honor.
As a reminder, all items under the consent agenda will be approved with one motion. If a council member wishes to remove an item for further discussion, the request will be made prior to approval and consent agenda and will be moved to the new business. Do we have a motion for a consent agenda?
Your Honor,
Yes?
I move that the consent agenda be accepted as presented.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Biggs.
Yes.
Councilmember Evans.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Rizzi.
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser.
Yes.
Councilmember Gremmel.
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder.
Yes.
Mayor Wilson.
Yes.
Unanimous, Your Honor.
Awards and presentations and proclamation. In recognition of individuals and organizations who have donated to the Friends of Apache Junction, I'm going to ask Diane, Friends of Apache Junction board member, to begin.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. My name is Diana LeClaire, and I'm a board member for Friends of Apache Junction. And I'm here tonight on behalf of Friends of Apache Junction to speak about our mission and our wonderful donors who have so graciously and generously donated to help support programs and departments of the City of Apache Junction. So if you'll indulge me in a short PowerPoint presentation. So we'll get started. The mission of Friends of Apache Junction is to support the community and improve the quality of life for residents by securing resources for city departments and programs. An example would be like helping the Apache Junction Police Department obtain radios and most recently personal protection equipment, candy for the Halloween festivities. In 2020, donors gave over $74,500. This is an amazing amount of money because if you keep in mind, 2020 was the year that brought us the COVID-19 virus and the virus's impact on everyday life and personal finances. So we thank all of our donors. Community donors gave to Friends of Apache Junction, AJ Parks and Recreation, Paws and Claws Care Center, and the AJ Police Department. I'm going to read a list of the main corporate donors, organizational, and individual donors. And I would ask that you all hold your applause to the end, if you will. Arizona Water is a corporate donor. They donated to Friends of Apache Junction. Horizon Health and Wellness, donation, Apache Junction Police Department DARE program. Organizational donors. The Great AJ Mounted Rangers donated to the Apache Junction Police Department DARE program, Explorers Fund, and Toy Drive. Lost Dutchman Marathon, donation, Apache Junction Police Department Auxiliary Program, and Explorers Fund. Superstition Mountain Rotary Club. Donation, Apache Junction Police Department End-of-Year Campaign. And last but not least, the Apache Junction Unified School District Donation, Apache Junction Police Department DARE Program. Individual donors. Parks and Recreation, such a great program. We have Ryan Lugo and Michael and Susan Finn. The Paws and Claws Care Center. Helping our furry friends were Pia Villar, Rose Dill, Charles Iverson, Mr. and Mrs. Wilson, Dennis and Dawn Duoglass, Brian and Bernadette Bergen, Marie Stern, and Eamon Ryan. Apache Junction Police Department Holiday Toy Campaign. Donors Joanne Newsom and the residents of Meridian Manor. And the police end-of-year campaign, Philip Hines. Would any of the donors like to take this time to speak? No? Okay. No one wants to speak? Okay. Well, would you all join me in a round of applause to thank our wonderful donors for their generosity and continued support of the programs and departments of Apache Junction. And at this time, I would like to ask the donors to come forward to have their pictures taken with the mayor. And I will turn this portion of the program over to Al Bravo, Public Information Officer extraordinaire for the City of Apache Junction. Yes.
Yes, would everyone please come up front?
So come in the light. Yeah, we got
There
it.
was a $5,000
Peter, we want you in the good light right here.
DARE program from the drug prevention program. She didn't mention that.
Al, how many groups do we have here with us? Because we may want to do separate groups.
Photobomb?
Photobomb your picture.
Or one big? Okay.
Don't need to photobomb your picture. Up close and personal.
Again, thanks, everyone. Thank you for your contributions in working with this great community and the donations that you've all made. Announcement of current events from council and mayor. Brandon,
Okay.
pick on you first.
Let's see.
Okay.
Where are we at, Braden?
I
Or
don't know
Councilmember
how
Prince.
I'll put it in here, so I'm not sure. I think starting right there,
Right?
the car show. So last Saturday was the NJRTC 32nd annual car show, I want to say. It was at the East Valley shopping center located there at Phelps and Apache Trail, where First Friday is. Just a really, really great event, and want to give kudos to the RTC and the school district for being able to put that on. Lots of cars, I believe over 30 different categories for the judges. A great turnout by the community and everything. The ROTC did a wonderful presentation for POWs as well, so just a really great event there. You can go to the next one. Last week, myself, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Councilmember Schroeder visited the Boys and Girls Club and got to meet the new staff there. Just another great organization in the community who's doing a lot of great work. Obviously, lots has happened around COVID, but a great opportunity to kind of connect there, and I believe they're actually here tonight. So, just a reminder, the Star Family event is coming up on March the 13th. This is a joint venture between both VFW Post 7968 and 9399 to honor the Apache Junction area's star families, which you can see up at the top of what each star represents. We have, I believe, currently 25 families registered for this event. We met yesterday. We are working to move forward with this event, and they had asked that I extend an invitation to all of the council and staff if you would like to attend. We will make sure that you guys get the formal invitation, but really just a great opportunity that we're trying to get started here locally to represent all of our star families. Most communities only represent one star. We're trying to represent all of them. So, and I believe that's everything.
You?
No.
No, Braden doesn't leave anything left on the bone there.
Got to start at the other end next week.
Not on purpose, y'all.
Kelly?
No, nothing.
Just trash?
Yeah, I have a couple items. The first one here is, if you haven't seen it, it just was put out this last week. This is the new Apache Junction Chamber of Commerce logo. What they have added or changed in their logo is nothing more actually than, instead of saying Apache Junction Chamber of Commerce, it's now the Apache Junction Area Chamber of Commerce. But that's their new official new logo. The next item is I brought this up last month. It's the Chamber's program Spring into Savings. And just to remind the public again what it is, the Chamber got a grant and they took the money and they went out to businesses in the community, these that you see here in the yellow, and they bought $400 worth of gift cards with that grant money, and they bought it in $20 gift cards. And if you go shopping at any of these businesses that are on this list, anytime from January something to May 1st, January 20th to May 1st, if you spend $50 or more, you take your receipt to the Chamber of Commerce and they will give you a $20 gift card that you can turn around and spend in the community at one of these businesses. Well, I think you pick the one you want. I don't remember how it works exactly, but the next thing is a new chamber program. It begins this next month. March is Women's History Month, and this new program is they're going to have a speaker series that begins March 4th. The first speaker will be an Evelyn Kasuga. She's a governing board member from CAC. And she will be their first speaker. They also will have a mentorship program that begins in March. Members will be able to apply to be a mentor, and then you'll be matched up with someone. I don't know a lot about that program. And then later on in the year, they're going to have a Businesswoman of the Year event. So if you are interested in being a mentor or being involved, please get in touch with the Chamber. And the last thing is the Chamber's March Mixer. For years, it has always been at 5:30 p.m. It's getting changed now. It's going to be at 11:30 in the morning on, as you can see, Thursday, March 18th. And if you want to be in the mixer, contact the Chamber. Thank you.
Tess, are those going to start being in person?
Are they what?
Will they be in person?
Oh, No, this one here is, I think it's, well, I don't know if this one's in person. It's about connecting virtually and how using virtual, how to make it be effective with it. But I don't know if this one's
We can't meet in person to talk about connecting virtually?
Yeah.
Come on.
virtually, doing virtually. No, I don't know.
It says you're registered there at the AJ's chamber, and then the Zoom information will be sent to you.
Oh, okay, I didn't even see that. So yeah, if it's Zoom, it's definitely virtual.
So I'll let you cover it, Chip. I think Braden covered most of it.
All right. Well, one of the things that I wanted to say that we had a successful, at least I feel anyway, a successful State of the City meeting last week, and it was an opportunity for everyone to see what we're going to be doing in the future and how we're working together with the different utilities in this development to the south, as well as an introduction to our 3 new council members, so that you got the opportunity to meet and see them as well. And if it is available online, you can still go out and see it. I would encourage you to do that. At the groundbreaking at the food bank, it was something that they're doing a new freezer, and it is something that it's something that they're in desperate need of, and it's going to be a way that they can now have more opportunity to accept additional foods and to distribute them. And the picture of the scissors in there, they didn't work. I had to get my pocket knife out to actually cut the ribbon. And today, had an opportunity to go out to Mesa Gateway Airport. And you probably have seen this plane flying overhead several times in this past couple of months. And what it is, it's a Canadian-built airplane that is designed to land on water and turn around and take water into the belly and turn around and take it out and put it onto a potential fire. They did a demonstration today, and it was quite unique in the aspect that they dumped the water in simulating it, putting it onto a fire, and they are training. In fact, they told me that there is now potentially 4 more planes that are going to be built or in the process of being built and delivered to the U.S., and they're in the process right now of training the 2 crew members that fly this plane so that they will be able to be available this coming fire season here in the United States as well, and including Canada. And there should be one more picture of the plane, I think, if I remember right. Yeah, right there it is. And if you notice on the bottom of their little badge, put the wet stuff on the hot stuff. So it's a unique airplane. Of course, when you see it flying over, you'll now know what it's doing. They're going out to Roosevelt to gather up some water and do some practice runs.
Every time we go out there, the mayor can't, he has a smile on his face the whole time that he just can't wipe the grin off.
Okay. Manager's report.
Thank you, Your Honor. Bryant Powell, City Manager. I just wanted to make a couple mentions on part of the donation process, as well as to recognize Councilmember or Vice Mayor Rizzi and Robin Barker, former council member, who also donated to the Drug Prevention Coalition. Thank you. And then to Robin, thank you for your donation to Paws and Claws. So wanted to highlight you and appreciate you all for your help there. Tonight, we welcome for his presentation, Stephen Herring of Republic Service. He periodically comes in and gives us an update on the Free Dump Week and update on landfill activity. Stephen?
Thank you. Hi, everybody.
No.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I just wanted to take a moment real quick, since we do have some new faces. Just want to congratulate the 3 new council members and then Mayor Wilson. Congrats on your elections. Looking forward to working with you all. Since there are some new faces, I thought I would start really quickly with just a quick introduction for who I am. I'm Stephen Herring. I'm with Republic Services. Been with the company for 8 years, and then been here in the Phoenix market for 3. So I'm primarily in charge with working with our municipal customers like Apache Junction, doing hauling contracts, working with landfill and recycling processing contracts. So what I have today is just a few updates. I wanted to share that as of today, we have 1,290 residents that have signed up for recycling services. I know that's a metric that we like to keep tabs on. So that comes out to about 12% participation for recycling. We did conclude Free Dump Week last week. It was another successful run. Residents brought in over 117 tons. And I also have the Q4 numbers, which Q4 was a lot heavier than what we have seen in the past. 151 tons came in, so quite large participation. Also wanted to promote the fact that we do have these quarterly. So Free Dump Week, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, it's an opportunity for residents of Apache Junction to utilize the landfill that we all have in our backyard, right? So residents can bring up to 600 pounds for no charge. And the next 2 is May 10th through 15th would be our quarter 2 Free Dump Week. And then quarter 3 will be August 9th through 14th. So we look forward to seeing a lot of participation. One of the nice perks of the new trash contract that started last April is residents can utilize a free bulk service. In my last report, I was asked to provide some numbers around that. So happy to share that on average, we're having about 65 residents utilize the service. Average weight is well over 100 pounds per pickup. So this comes out to about 3,500 residents per year utilizing the free bulk service, or about 30-ish% of the residents that we service. So good participation. If residents would like more information on how this works, please go to ajcity.net/trash. And then last, annually we provide a groundwater summary for the landfill. We provide that to Larry Kirch, and we just submitted 2020's results, and there's nothing significant to report. All groundwater monitoring is going well, and if you'd like to view the full report, staff has that. So with that, I'm happy to take any questions you all may have. Thanks for having me.
Anyone got any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We now have Fox Young, who's got a report for us on the CDC. And we want to come on up, Fox, and go over that, as well as other programs and resources through the corporate sponsorship program. And we'll turn it over to you, Fox. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the council. Thank you for having me here. I know we have a busy agenda, so I will try and make this as concise as I can to get through it. Going to be doing a program and resource update for everybody, and I will start with corporate partnerships. Last year, it was a difficult year with COVID going on. 2020 brought a lot of difficulties for members of the community. And we had to change a lot of the programs and events that went on in Apache Junction. Some had to be outright canceled or they had to be done distantly. So that affected the corporate sponsorship, but we still brought in almost $30,000 for that. One of the big sponsors and partners was Republic Services for the fireworks. We were lucky. We were one of the few municipalities who were able to have the fireworks, and that was through the generosity of Republic Services that was able to happen. Now, it was changed up. It was limited viewing, but we were able to stream that live for everybody in the community. So that was something nice that happened. Also, SRP gave for the movies in the park, again, another event that had to be tweaked for the COVID so that people weren't close together. They did it with cars. I believe, hopefully, that will continue. The program went well. There was good attendance and viewership for that. Again, we'll see what happens this year, 2021. We had a spike in COVID early on. Hopefully that continues to decline, as I just read in the news earlier. So we'll see what happens with the programs and events. The Friends of Apache Junction, as Diane was saying, and I do want to reiterate, thank you to every donor that has given. This community is amazing, the amount that they give, especially during trying times. You know, from the small donors all the way up to the bronze, silver, and gold level donors. An amazing amount of money. I believe it was over $74,000. So, you know, thanks to everybody for that. And feel free to stick around. But if I know people are busy, so if any of the donors have to leave, you know, feel free to head on out. Or you can listen to me, give a nice presentation here. Diane went over the mission, so I'll skip through that to save a little time. I do want to reiterate, the Friends are an all-volunteer board. None of them are paid, and they give back, it's actually over 98% of all the donations that come in, and that is incredibly rare that an organization does that. Also, if anybody wasn't recognized tonight, sometimes there's a delay in when the check gets in, so they might be recognized in 2021 because of that. I know the Apache Junction Drug Prevention Coalition might have given something. You might be recognized in 2021, even though the check might have come in 2020. There might be a couple others, and I will check on that for everybody. Now, the Friends provided $46,500 for events, programs, and improvements in the city. What's left over, because a lot of donations do come in late December, that money is held in specific accounts for what it was donated for. So say somebody gave to Paws and Claws, that money, if it wasn't spent this year, it's set aside in a special account for Paws and Claws so that they could use it next year. Or it might be for Parks and Rec or one of the other departments that uses that money. They have a website up. It's a newer website. It's thefriendsofapachejunction.org. It is a secure website. You can do donations. You can do volunteering through there. You can sign up to be a member of the board if you're interested in joining and serving there. Moving on, the Apache Junction Community Development Corporation. Their mission is to maintain and create safe, affordable housing, support economic opportunities, instill a sense of community pride and commitment, and enhance the physical image of Apache Junction. They have three main projects that they're doing right now: the Focal Point, the Make a Difference Day, and the Community Revitalization Project. And I'm going to briefly touch on each one of these. The Focal Point, if anybody doesn't know, is right down the street, Flatiron Park and Apache Trail. It's right down in there. It's a beautification and city enhancement project that's been ongoing. People can go take a look there. There's a veterans section, a general community section, and a pet section. So if you want to buy a commemorative brick, you can do that. I believe they're $50, and the proceeds from that go to help sponsor programs throughout the community. And I'll touch a little bit more on this later because there's something really exciting on the webpage I want to show everybody. The Make a Difference Day, this started in 2019. It was city enhancement projects, helping out not only city projects, but projects in the community and local homeowners who were struggling and in need. That year, there were 131, I believe, volunteers that went out and did several projects. That kept going in 2020. They had to really scale back, though, because they wanted to keep everybody safe and maintain social distancing. So they had a limit of 34 volunteers that they had figured they could use. There was a waiting list, which, again, not only do people here give monetarily, but they give of their time. And it's really incredible the amount of people who want to volunteer in the community. That year, 2020, they focused on the Focal Point and did a cleanup there to get ready for the push for the memorial bricks. And they also helped at the Silly Mountain Botanical Walk with the Master Gardeners and the AJ Parks and Recs Department. They did tree planting, they did plants, they took out some debris and some of the dead plants, redid signs in there. So it was really a nice project to get done, or to get at least underway, because I believe there's still a little bit of work to go there. Coming up, there is a tentative date for the Make a Difference Day project. It's Saturday, October 9th of this year. It generally goes from 8 to 11, 8 to noon, depending upon how many projects there are. And I'll show you a little bit later how you can submit a project or volunteer for this One of the newest projects they have going on is the Community Revitalization Project. This actually stemmed from Make a Difference Day because there was such a need in the community. And this helps those who maybe are elderly, disabled, or on fixed income. It helps them to maintain their property. And I'm going to showcase one of these here. It was one of the most recent projects. They have now done, I think, 15, 16 of these projects now. They're starting another one, and I think tomorrow they're going to be doing another one of these projects. And then there's another one slated after that one. So there's kind of a queue going for this, which is really great. It means there's a lot of activity and a lot of participation in this now. But this last project was a little bit bigger than what they thought it was going to be. But a lot of volunteers rose to the task and really helped out for this. And that is about halfway through the project, the picture that you're all seeing now. That's what it looks like today. There were 14 tons of debris that was removed. And doing quick math, hopefully I get this right, 28,000 pounds that was removed in just this one project. It not only helps the person who owns the property, who just does not have the means to do it themselves, but it helps the neighbors and the community as a whole. So it's a great program that they're doing. And I just want to thank all the donors, partners, and everyone who's helped to support the community. And indulge me just for a few minutes here. I am going to bring up, if I can, the website. This is the AJCDC website. There's a menu up here. You can find out more about their mission, their history, the board of directors. If anybody's interested in applying to be a board member, you can go to the board of directors page. There's a link right there where you can apply. Projects, you can go to the various projects, the Community Revitalization, Focal Point, Make a Difference Day. They have resources for the community and businesses that you can look at. There's a blog section. Feel free to contact them at any time. And obviously there's the good old donate button. They do need, as any nonprofit, they need donations in order to keep their mission going. Just going to scroll down here real quick. Another way to get to those pages, Revitalization, Focal Point, Make a Difference Day. They've tried to make it as easy as possible. There's a community spotlight. And one of the main numbers here is there's been 43 tons of waste that they've removed in the Community Revitalization Project so far. And that's going to continue to grow. Their mission, they want to make Apache Junction one of the most beautiful cities. And it's a great city. I'm a transplant from Kentucky and was involved in the community. This community is outstanding for their participation and desire to help the others around them. So kudos to all of you for that. They also have the Make a Difference Day. If anybody wants to be a sponsor or give and donate, you can do that. And we can't forget, there's the blog section. Wonderful sponsors that help out and kindly give their time. But Just Serve as well. It's a great site. If anybody's wanting to volunteer on any project in Apache Junction, you can go to that website, type in your area code, and it'll bring up a list of things you can volunteer for. So it's a great site to use. I just wanted to, let everybody know about that in case they didn't. And I'm going to scroll back up real quick just to show the Revitalization Project. You can get more information there. You can volunteer, but you can also fill the form out directly from the website, contact information, and it's going too fast now. There we go. You can submit it directly to the website. Somebody from the AJCDC will contact you, and they'll go out, assess the property, kind of give you a time frame if they can do it, if the funds are available, and what to expect from there. And I'm going to go up here to projects. I'm going to go down to the Make a Difference Day real quick. You can see all the kind of pictures. I won't go through all that, but you can get current updates about Make a Difference Day, find out the information, where they're meeting, what projects are going to be going on. You can also submit a project for that directly from the website. So if you have, an issue with your yard, it could be anything simple from you need windows washed, you need a little help with weeds in the yard, things like that, feel free, submit a project, and somebody will be in contact with you. And this one, just because I think this is really cool, the focal point. They have on here where you can actually order a brick online. And if you click on that, you can actually fill this out in real time and see what's coming up.
Neat.
Oops, if I could spell right, it even lets you change if you make a flub. You can go and change it. You can get 4 lines, you get up to 16 characters. So I don't know if it's coming up on yours, but
Yeah, it is. It looks
you know,
good.
it's great. You scroll down, you can actually pay for it directly on site. This is, again, it's a secure website,
Yeah.
so it's got an SSL certificate. Donation terms, don't forget to read that, and you can submit it, and somebody from the CDC will be in contact with you on that as well.
How much is a brick?
I believe they are $50. Yes, scale is. So $50. Part of it goes to actually getting the brick because they have to send it out, get it cut, and then ship it back. And I don't know exactly how long the process takes. It's probably 3-4 weeks by the time they get the brick, ship it out to the person who does the cutting, and then get it back. But they will let you know that when you order.
Are they still doing the tree lighting down at the focal point?
That I don't know. I would have to ask. I'm not sure on that. I know during the holiday parade event, they did tree lighting down there. But as far as sponsoring the trees, I don't know. I will check on that for you.
Just curious.
I know it was done in the past.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could have a memorial or,
Yes.
to some family member or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The trees may be all taken, though, and I think there was like a 15-year term or something, if I remember.
That they might be.
So they may all be taken.
And that's it? Any other questions?
Anyone got questions?
Yeah, I do, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Do you ever have projects where you're short of help, you're short of volunteers?
Yes. And just from speaking with the AJCDC, there are times, especially during the summertime, when, it's hot out, some people have left for the year, so it can get, light. But they've done pretty well. Like I said, the community has been really good about this. There are several churches I know that get involved in that, and individuals in the community who also get involved. And like I say, feel free to go to Just Serve, anybody in the community, and find a project you're interested in. It doesn't necessarily have to be AJCDC or the Friends. There's a lot of great organizations out there that help and give in this community.
Do you guys ever tap into adult or juvenile probationers that need community service hours?
I believe they are. I know I received a call and a letter, probably a month or 2 ago about that, and I passed it along to Jim Humphreys. So I don't know if they've worked anything out yet, but I know that is in the works.
Neat website. It looks good.
No, thank you. And they're getting ready to do a minor upgrade to it as well, so it'll look a little bit different.
Anyone else?
I was going to say, Fox, the one thing you didn't mention was our Make a Difference Day project that's coming up for this year in the Field of Dreams.
Oh, I
Over
did.
the
I
Boys
forgot
and
the
Girls
Field of
Club.
Dreams. Yeah, the Boys and Girls Club. I believe that's going to start in March or April
I'm not sure.
when they're getting all the preliminary stuff ready for
The
that.
drawings and everything.
Yeah. The Boys and Girls Club, they have a field that hasn't been utilized in quite a while. And the AJCDC, Boys and Girls Club, and several other partners are coming together to try and get that fixed so that the kids can use that field. And they're hoping to get it done here within the year, I believe. And Gail, please correct me if I'm wrong there.
No, that's correct.
Okay.
So, thank you. Good job.
Thank you, Your Honor. That concludes my report. And thank you, Fox. And thank you to
Thank
the
you.
Friends and the CDC. Great groups.
All right. Thank you all very much.
Okay, old business, discussion and consideration of resolution 21-04, authorizing an IGA with Pinal County for an off-leash park at the county complex. Liz?
Good evening. Mayor Wilson, members of council, Liz Lingenbach, Parks and Recreation Director. Let's see. So I just pulled this up here for reference. So tonight I'm here to discuss the dog park, the IGA for the property that the dog park is going to be on. As many of you remember, and I know we have several new council members, but we've discussed it. We have been discussing a dog park for a very long time in our community, and over the last couple of years, the City Council, after recommendation by our Parks and Rec Commission and the ASU capstone study, selected the county site as a site to do a dog park here in the near future. We have some great plans for bigger, all the bells and whistles parks, but unfortunately at the time, we just don't have those types of monies, $3 to $4 million to put something like that together. And so the groups discussed and looked at alternative locations, and this site was picked as a really ideal location for a short-term project and one that we could do here very quickly and be able to get a little bit more momentum going. So that property is on Idaho and Superstition, and it is on the current county complex right now. So here are the county buildings over here, and the dog park actually will be in the retention basin portion, as well as some of the other surrounding land that is there. We currently have an IGA where the city works with the county on maintaining that retention basin, as well as some of the landscaping and the roadway that is right there. So this new IGA is focusing specifically on the design, construction, and operation of the dog park here on this existing property. Pinal County staff and the county attorney were very instrumental over the last several years as we worked on the concept, and then they have reviewed all of our construction and design documents along with our Parks and Recreation Commission as well as city staff. We worked with the city attorney and then shared this with the county attorney to review it. And the document that you have before you, I don't know if I will bring it up if you guys have any specific questions on it. But the document you have before you is the actual county IGA with them. It is a 25-year agreement. It is on recreation and public purpose land that can only be used for these types of purposes in this governmental complex. And so, let's see.
Liz, when does the county vote on it, or have they?
The county, thank you very much. So they are also presenting this week. So county staff and the county attorney have reviewed everything and approved the language. They will also be looking at it this week for county approval as we go. And so with that, if you have any questions, I'm happy to take those.
You're going to bring up the IGA?
Yes, please. Are you able to?
Yep,
Yeah.
I can. I'll get it.
Okay.
Matt can get that.
Super excited.
It's only 9 pages.
Only 9 pages, Joel.
That's right.
Great.
Wow.
Simple.
Joel didn't write it.
Yeah.
Couple of, sorry. I started scrolling before you.
Just zoom in a little bit.
Thank you. So just some of the main agreement items that we covered: the city's obligations as well as the county's. Overall, this is going to be a city-operated park, so we will be doing all of the operational and maintenance costs. The county is allowing us to use this property. We will work together on signage, working on parking, and all of those kinds of things. They will be contributing towards the electrical costs. They are very minimal, so we did not want to bring electric onto this site. We are doing solar lighting for the lighting that is going to be at the park, and that's kind of a neat new pilot project that we are doing. And so there's a little bit of electricity that needs to come in to cool our water fountain, and as well as a very small amount for our irrigation controls. So we talked with them, and they are absolutely willing and very happy to have this amenity in the county. And so they're willing to let us just tie into their electrical work instead of bringing all that on site. So that's the part that they will be funding out of the operation and maintenance costs. Any questions?
Mayor?
It's exciting.
Yes.
Liz, just have a question. Can you talk to us a little bit about, because I know there's concerns about parking, and tell us kind of some thoughts on that.
Absolutely. So when we first identified this area, we did talk with the county about that concern, and we have definitely kept a pretty close eye on, over the last several years, of what the county parking situation is. What does it look like? during the times of the day that we think the park will be busiest. The county has identified that there is one day a week that they tend to be the busiest in that area, and so we will be making that our maintenance day. So almost every dog park in the valley, they'll have one day where they're closed, maybe until 2 o'clock or so, 3 o'clock. We have chosen that whatever date that the county feels is their busiest day. 3 years ago, I think it was like Monday. I don't know if that's true now, but whatever that day is will be our main maintenance day, and the park won't open until that afternoon. While we know we will have visitors during the day, our biggest, busiest timeframes will be in the evening, weekend hours whenever the county is closed. There will be spillover parking across the street at Veterans Park, and there's a crosswalk so that people would have some other options. And we have talked with the county about this. I think they feel very confident or comfortable working with us as we go and kind of looking for signage and different things that might be able to address that.
Very good, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Super excited. We can't wait.
Anyone else?
I'm just excited to not have to go to Gilbert this week anymore, so I think this is awesome.
And so tonight, this is we will be adopting the resolution which authorizes the mayor and everybody to sign the intergovernmental agreement. Correct, Joel?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Liz,
Yes.
can you just tell us, I know this has nothing to do with this because we're not at that point yet, but any of the amenities that you plan for the,
Matt, are you able to get it back to the?
Yep.
Is that okay? Okay. Yeah.
I know what we worked on when I was on Parks and Rec for the planned one at Prospector Park, but I'm just kind of curious
Matt.
what you're going to, put in this.
Yep, so it is large enough that we were able to identify 3 different areas. We had a lot of citizen input in the early phases, got a lot of input from our Paws and Claws Center, some of our other local dog advocate community members, as well as businesses. And so there will be 3 separate fenced locations, or areas, separated by probably size of dog. We have a small citizen focus group that is talking about the rules and some of the different areas right now. The entry areas are double gated, so that way those are safe to go. This is a smaller one, so there's not a lot of room for a big water area. We will have water for dogs and a place for people to be able to spray off. Lots of trees and shade, which is why this site was selected, because there's already so much mature trees there. We're going to still bring in some, but there will already be a lot of built-in shade. And then obviously the grass is a big amenity itself. I just want to point out that to address our drainage issues so that we aren't shut down, every time it rains, drainage has been worked on so that it actually flows around the dog park. And all of that has met with all of the standards and specifications that both Public Works and our planning department have okayed all of that. So
Just make it a lab day. Labs love to swim.
So there you go. Absolutely, whenever it'll be a great water amenity whenever that happens. There will also be art planned here, so we are working with the Arts Commission to identify what is our art going to look like that's there. That is part of the project that will be incorporated. And so you'll be hearing more about that, and there'll be some other different public information. We will have a frequently asked questions page here as soon as this piece is done, where folks can kind of be directed to. And if they want to get involved and have a little bit more input, there'll be some opportunities with some of our rules and regulations and other fun things that are going to be happening at the park.
Liz, the plan is to go out for bid in the spring later on this year and hopefully open spring 2022, if memory serves?
So we are fairly confident that so this project is funded by development fee money, not through our city general fund. And so we do feel very confident with the growth and the new houses that are coming in, that we have enough money to begin this project and get it through completion. And so we are very excited and hopeful. We're working on bid documents right now. So we feel very confident that March will be a good time, that somewhere in March we'd be able to go out for bid. And then accepting bids, maybe starting the project sometime at the end of summer. And yes, our hope would be to be opening in the spring of next year. Some of the grass things tend to cause, that's what happened with Flatiron. We would have been opened about a couple months earlier, but the grass needs has to be planted at a certain time. And so we'll work through some of those things, but that is our goal. So very exciting.
Okay,
Anything else? Okay. Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks, Liz.
Do I have a motion?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that resolution number 21-04, authorizing an intergovernmental agreement with Pinal County for an off-leash dog park at the county complex located at 575 North Idaho Road, be approved.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Evans?
Yes.
Councilmember Biggs?
Yes.
Councilmember Gremmel?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Rizzi?
Oh, yes.
Councilmember Nesser?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Mayor Wilson?
I would bark and say yes.
Motion passes, Your Honor.
Okay, discussion and consideration of Resolution 21-05, adopting policies, guidelines, and application procedures for the establishment of a community facilities district. Joel,
maybe?
we'll start the discussion.
Well, we've talked about this item before, and tonight we have our special guest, Zach Sakis, and he will go through this document and have answers to any of your questions. So I'd invite Zach to come on up.
Mayor, Council, good evening. My name is Zach Sakis. I'm representing the city with respect to any potential formation of a community facilities district. There are a few items tougher to follow than a dog park, so let's hang in there as we talk about potential formation of a community facilities district. Generally, at a high level, since the city last formed a community facilities district, the law has changed several times over. And so best practice for a city that, in light of the recent state land auction, where I think it's reasonable to anticipate a potential applicant seeking formation of a community facilities district, best practice for the city is to put in place a policy where you are ensuring that anybody interested in formation of a CFD, any potential applicant, will be treated in a similar, consistent, predictable manner by the city, and knows what the city expects in the city's consideration of a community facilities district. Mayor, Council, as you might remember from the work study session late last year, a community facilities district is a wholly separate entity from the city, and formation of a new community facilities district is at the sole and absolute discretion of the governing body of the jurisdiction that is forming it. In this case, it would be Mayor and Council of Apache Junction. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions regarding the policy and otherwise.
Mr. Mayor, if I may. Zach, can I ask you, there's some current legislation regarding community facilities districts, and can you explain where that is in the process with the legislature?
At 9 a.m. tomorrow, I'm testifying for the Senate committee, the House committee on the legislation, and then I think about 1 I'm testifying on for the Senate committee. So following some of the recent legislative changes, Mayor, Council, that I addressed previously in 2017 and 2018, there were some unintended consequences. The 2017 legislation made it mandatory where upon formation of a new community facilities district, the board must include 2 appointed members that are selected by the largest private landowner requesting formation of the district. Across the state, we've had issues finding 2 people willing to serve on the board, and then if we find them, we're having a hard time finding insurance carriers willing to provide insurance coverage. In addition, the pending legislation does some cleanup work. There were rules that changed how cities and school districts can sell bonds that are backed by property taxes. Community facilities districts sell the same type of bonds with the same type of property tax pledge, but the rules were inconsistent. And as an abundance of caution, we've been following the same rules for cities and school districts in CFDs, and it will formalize and conform the CFD statutes with what's otherwise happening for cities and school districts.
Zach, can you come a little bit closer, Mike?
I apologize.
And then one question that came up prior is, for most of the cities and towns that have CFDs, do they typically have the 7 members of the board be the city council, or do most of them have like community people that are 5 or 7 or whatever the number is?
Right. Most cities that have formed CFDs have mayor and council serving ex officio as board.
More like what we do with the water district than we do with the sewer.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, since 2017, they have the 2 additional appointed members, but
So the legislation, if approved, will eliminate the 2 members, is that correct?
it will make it an option. So it will remain an option if a landowner applies for a CFD and wants 2 appointed board members, they can request that. But it also restores prior to the 2017, if the landowner wants mayor and council to act ex officio without trying to figure out the complexities of the 2 additional appointed members, then you can do it how you did it before 2017. In addition, it gives an opt-out where the districts that have been formed since 2017 with the appointed members can restructure their board, basically, and remove the 2 appointed positions if that has created issues. And I anticipate if the bills become law, that several CFDs that have been formed since 2017 might act on that.
And it could also appoint 5 other members, is that correct?
Right, that part stays the same. There was always the option of appointing a 5-member appointed board. Many cities, because of the interrelated nature, although they are separate political subdivisions, the interrelated nature between a city, and you'll remember my line from the work study session was a CFD can be a city within a city, it sometimes feels like. And so the idea of the 5-member appointed board, most cities have a preference for mayor and council acting ex officio as the board of a community facilities district.
Or it could be 5 separate individuals from the community, correct?
Yes.
Kind of like how the city handles the sewer board.
Correct.
Okay, I wanted to make sure council understood all that.
Mayor, may I ask a question?
Yes.
So let's say it was going to be the city council then that was the board. So if the builder was to come forth and say, okay, we want 2 additional people on the board, so is it up to the city council to make that determination whether or not we want those 2? Or how does that work exactly?
It's part of the city's discussion with a
Okay.
potential applicant during the process.
So follow up to that, then would it be a 9-member board, or would
Correct.
there be 5 council members and 2?
Mayor, council, it would be a 9-member board. So all of mayor and council acting ex officio plus the 2 additional board members in that situation.
Okay, one other question then. So the 2 additional people, you talk about that they're some places are having difficulty finding insurance companies. Tell us exactly what it is that those people are being insured for.
Mayor, council, so a variety of things. In your position as mayor and council, and Joel, please correct me, there's directors and officers, liability insurance, things that you do in your official role, acting as mayor and council. There is protections if the city were to take on debt and a potential investor sued the city for statements in an offering document made to investors, you would have insurance coverage for your role as mayor and council if an investor decided to sue council as part of that process. And so similar insurance provisions either have been difficult to find or the premiums have been so costly that for a community facilities district position, once the 2 additional appointed members were added, it was no longer the mayor and council elected members sitting ex officio. We now had 2 additional members from the general public that might not have similar public servant training, experience, and otherwise. And so that's one example, but it can be more simple of just general liability insurance. Some providers were unwilling to provide that. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. We'll call for a motion. Do I have a motion?
Your Honor, I move that resolution number 21-05, adopting policy guidelines and application procedures for establishment of a community facilities district be approved.
Second.
Roll call.
Vice Mayor Rizzi?
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser?
Yes.
Councilmember Biggs?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Gremmel?
Yes.
Councilmember Evans?
Yes.
Mayor Wilson?
Yes.
Motion passes, Your Honor.
And thank you very much for the presentation.
Thanks, Zach.
Okay, discussion and consideration of resolution 21-06, supporting the route of the north-south corridor. Mr. Weaver.
Yep.
And before he starts, I had requested that this be brought up before the council again. It was previously approved with the previous council. I want the current council to understand this, and so we can go forward with support. Mike?
Right. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. Mike Weaver, Public Works Director. I'll just give you a little background of the different alternates and a little background into why we chose what we chose too. So, first of all, if you look up at W1A, that is basically the Ironwood alignment from 60 south. We determined quickly that it already exists, so there's no benefit to the city, and it would run directly through what we project will be a large residential area. So we quickly discarded W1A. The other three alternates, Brian and Matt had me look at the different ways that those alignments would tie into the alignments proposed west of the canal, and then also how they would tie into such roads as like Pearl to Superstition Mountain and give that the ability for Gold Canyon to get to Apache Junction, as well as those times when needed to bypass the Renaissance and all that. So give them a few more options. When we looked at those, W1B, E1A, E1B, were all fairly similar. They all had different ways to do things, but one didn't outweigh the other one. So after that, Bryant met with his counterparts with the cities and towns of Pinal County as well as Pinal County, and they got together and decided what was the best benefit for the group. With that being said, they determined that W1B would be the best option. Brings it back over to Queen Creek, gets down, goes through Florence and its benefit there, and then works its way down south. The alignment, just to give you a real quick breakdown on when they're talking about doing things, is the SR24. So currently it's going on right now. They'll tie into Ironwood, and then the next phase would be to take that alignment and work it over to the north-south corridor. They're looking at right away in fiscal year 25, design in 26, and construction in 28. And I believe that's estimated somewhere around the $40 million mark. The other route then would begin right away in fiscal year 26, with design in 27 and then construction in 30. And that would tie the north-south corridor to the SR24.
All assuming that the litigation,
yes.
So this has been held up in the litigation, so we as voters of Pinal County voted a half-cent sales tax almost 4 years ago. And there are about $60 million sitting in an escrow account waiting for litigation to be fully resolved. And so we're waiting on that to know if it's even going to even get going. So we just need to make sure everyone knows that part too.
Yeah. And we're optimistic.
Yeah, we believe it's going to happen, right?
Yeah. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them or try to answer them.
So tonight we're just looking, Mike, just to reaffirm what the prior city council, which is the W1B
Right.
alternative.
Yeah, excuse me, and that's the one highlighted in green.
Yeah.
So.
Anyone got any questions? Okay.
Just get it built.
Can I have a motion?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that resolution number 21-06, which reaffirms support of the north-south corridor alignment from US 60 as detailed in the Pinal Regional Transportation Plan, approved by voters of Pinal County in 2017, be approved.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Schroeder,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Rizzi,
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser,
Yes.
Councilmember Evans,
Yes.
Councilmember Biggs,
Yes.
Councilmember Gremmel,
Yes.
Mayor Wilson.
Yes, and thank you very much. Okay, we have no new business. Council, none for direction to staff. The next regular scheduled work session is Monday, March 1st, and the next regular scheduled city council meeting is on Tuesday, March 2nd. And now we'll work to the call to the public. I would like to remind everyone that call to the public is a courtesy and is not required by law. It is the time for the public to express requests, communications, comments, and suggestions. Request to speak forms must be completed and handed to the city clerk before the end of the city manager's report. All issues shall be presented in a professional manner without personal attacks. Under the open meeting law, the council cannot engage in a discussion on the issues presented, but may respond to criticism and may direct staff to follow up with the speaker directly and/or place the matter on a future agenda for the council to discuss. There is a 3-minute limit for each speaker. And I have two. And Mr. Jones, be the first one.
My name is Wade Jones. My wife and I just recently purchased some property in Apache Junction. We're looking forward to building a new home and moving out here.
Can we have your address, please?
Excuse me?
Your address?
Right now, it's 4550 North Elmwood in Mesa.
Okay, thank you.
Where we'll be moving to is on that first page. It shows it there at, it's East Encanto. Sorry. That's my wife.
Thank you.
What I'm asking for at this time is, there is on 22nd Avenue, if you look on that first colored page, 22nd Avenue there, because you've already given the easement away that goes to the right of it or to the east of it, that pink, all the pink stuff, there's no through road now to Goldfield. And so the 22nd Avenue is just a real short street. I would like to propose that we abandon that, or maybe just put a cul-de-sac on each end or something, because right now it's used very little. There's no purpose for it because it just goes between those two short streets. I would like to do it so that we can fence it, protect it a little bit better, beautify it. That way you guys don't have to have the maintenance on the road. Right now it's just graveled, and it's only about, I'd say maybe 25 feet wide at the most. However, you have a 66-foot easement there that doesn't do anything. Also, I don't know, in the future with the other subdivisions going in around, I'm afraid that there'd be a lot of people traveling through there, not going anywhere, just going through there, and causes a lot of problems. Incidentally, there is a real pretty swirl cactus there. That's right at the end of the road, right at the edge of the 25 feet. It's way into the easement, very close to the road. I would like to keep that on my property so that I could protect it, and no cars are driving by it, and it would alleviate the chance of an accident or anything like that. Like I said, as you can see, it doesn't go anywhere because this other, if you look at what you've done in the past with this other being abandoned already, I would like to see if we couldn't do that with this section of road too. It's just a real short road. My property, if you look at the, am I out of time?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Is there any questions?
We'll definitely get Mike Weaver with him. Yeah.
Okay.
Our Public Works Director will be in touch with you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Carr?
Yeah. I got that to mine.
Hi, I'm Donna Carr, resident of Apache Junction. I wanted to talk about tonight was mobile home parks. A lot of the older mobile home parks, I was talking to a young man that lives by me. He used to live in one. He said all the older mobile homes that's in these parks that are prior 70s, the electric in them actually was not made of copper, so they're pretty much fire hazards. And when people aren't living in them, what they're using them for is storage units. So I think that in order to clean up the parks, either one, they have to bring them up to code so that they're not fire hazards, or have them removed so that they're not being used just by the mobile home park as storage containers. The other thing that I wanted to bring up is there's an area in Apache Junction that I call it the dead zone, because my grandson, as well as this young man that I was talking to, they're both gamers. And they said that when they lived on the other side of Meridian, they had Cox communication. When they lived over on Tomahawk, no problem, 300 something like megabytes per second or something like that. But where we live, even though it's like almost in the center of the city, is a lot of times I have 1 bar on my phone. My computer runs slow, and my understanding is that the phone company has put fiber optics in, but obviously that's not solving the problem. So if there's a way, I don't know if that's considered infrastructure or what, but if there's a way that we can deal with the problem of giving the people who live in the city area better service as far as that goes. I don't know if you can bring Cox Communication out this way or what. And the young man that I'm speaking of, his name is Nikia. And if you guys happen to have, or anybody happens to have, any old computers, whether or not they're laptop, desktop, Vista, he upgrades them to Windows 10, and he helps by giving them to people who are on disability, and he actually shows them how to use the computers. So, just saying, whatever you can do.
Thank you. Okay. Does anyone have any requests to follow up?
I think staff got with John, but, you know, we get this with the, Your Honor, we get this situation with the internet here all the time, and we have CenturyLink here. Cox, people keep saying, why don't we have Cox cable? Why don't we have Cox come in? Can I respond to this, Joel? Am I being legal?
You may respond, yes.
You're giving me the
but
looks.
no discussion.
I wanted to be sure, no discussion. Yeah. I just wanted people to be clear. We had conversations with Cox Cable years ago. They want to come in, and actually they're starting to little by little, but it's very costly because of the infrastructure, like you said, whatever those fiber optics or whatever, they're just so old. It's very costly, and so they have to be sure, with like any business, that they're going to have enough customers to support whatever they have to invest to make the product usable. I don't know if I said that properly, but it's not that Cox doesn't want to, it's not that they can't. They do. They just have to make sure that they have enough customers to support the business to do it.
And we don't put in the infrastructure, do we?
Mm-mm.
That is correct. We do
That's
not.
a private business.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay, is anyone else? Okay, I'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you.